So it was a normal day in 2021 when our next guest decided to take her brand new motorcycle out for a ride. Little did she know that that day would change her life as she knew it. Take a look at Christy Bullock's story.
We had just bought the new bike, but I had not got to drive it yet.
After grabbing lunch with her dad, Christy hopped on her bike and leaned into a turn.
I don't know what happened, but I ended up hitting the guardrail, and I had time before the impact to know that I was gonna hit it. I remember thinking to myself, this is gonna hurt.
Upon impact, she suffered an atlanto-occipital dislocation, an internal decapitation.
The guardrail stopped me here, but my head with that helmet kept going. And so it was just that velocity that just pulled my head off my spine.
Christy began to question if she had the strength to keep fighting.
I needed a reason to want to live again, because at that point, I did not.
Wow. Here to talk more about her astonishing recovery from an internal decapitation. Please welcome Christy to DBL. Christy, thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We are so glad to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Christy, your major neck injury was just the start of an incredibly tough recovery. Can you, I know it's hard, but just tell us, what other injuries did you have from the accident?
I had tears in both carotid and vertebral arteries. I broke my back in 3 places. I had liver complication. All of my internal organs were pretty much bruised or bleeding. I had a really bad tibial plateau fracture. Ooh. My left arm almost got cut off and was paralyzed for several weeks. So wow. It was significant multi-system trauma. And then 2 weeks after that, my brain herniated and I was in a coma for a short time, and then came out of that, and then that's when things really got hard.
Wow, of course.
So you talk a lot about your time in the ICU and losing hope is kind of what I want to focus on. What do you remember from that time? And kind of from just for me, I want to know what brought you through that? Was it faith? Was it something else? What was going through your mind at that time?
Good question.
As far as, what it felt like to be in that position, for me at that point, it had just all become too much. And to be honest, it just felt like complete torture. Mm-hmm. And I was just, by that point, I had been in there for weeks and I was just done. I just didn't have any more fight left. I was just tired and in pain and felt like I was being tortured. And to answer your question, as far as like what got me through that, is definitely the amazing support from my husband and all of my family and, just coworkers, friends, everybody and of course, my nurses and RTs and all the people that were taking care of me were what got me through.
Oh my gosh, that is unbelievable and beautiful. Speaking of your nurses, they did something really special to help you start recovering mentally. What was it and how did it impact you?
There was a point, after I'd been in there for 6 or 7 weeks, and they could just tell that I was tired and that I was losing my fight. And Stacy told me one day, she said, I tell you what, if you get off this ventilator, we're going to take you up to the helipad and we're going to watch the sunset over Children's Hospital. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how much longer it was after that, but when I did finally get off the ventilator, they took me up to the helipad and we watched the sunset over Children's Hospital, and I cried the whole time, as you can tell in the pictures, but this picture right here, Stacy's face.
Oh my gosh.
the way that she's looking at me and the way that I'm holding her hand, it's very emotional, and that gesture is kind of what was a gift that they gave me to make me want to live and to keep pushing through all of that.
We love our nurses, man.
We love our nurses, and it's such a stark reminder of what we take for granted on a daily basis. Operation Sunset was actually depicted on the TV show The Good Doctor, and they mentioned your case. What was it like seeing that? What did the nurses think, your nurse friends?
We were just all so shocked because I had no idea that that was going to happen. Nobody had contacted me, and my husband and I were just sitting on the couch one night, and my phone started blowing up, and all these people were like, "Oh my gosh, you're on The Good Doctor," and I was like, "No, I'm not." And then I finally got to see it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Oh. That's amazing.
It's just so beautiful. Christy, thank you for being here, for being alive and sharing your incredible story of survival. DBL Nation, to hear more from Christy, including conversations with her neurosurgeon, you can subscribe to her YouTube channel at Little Trauma Mama. I love that name.
It's a great name.
Yep. Thank you again. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Wow.